safer if there is a more moderate Democrat Party. But it has become so left wing that it's literally dangerous. We used to not talk like that. And some people say, oh, you're just saying that because that's, you're against them or that's the other side of what. No, these people are dangerous. And the longer that they're around, the longer we live in this world where if they were to gain power, it's very detrimental to this country. You need the Democrat Party to be more moderate. You need more moderates in the Democrat Party to be able to level it out. There's not enough. If there were more moderates in the Democrat Party, you would have 15 or 20 John Fettermans. You'd have maybe 30 or 40 John Fettermans in the House of Representatives, 15 or 20 in the Senate. But you don't. You got one of them. You've got one in all of Congress. And that's just that's not going to fly. That's not going to put us in a position to where Democrats win Congress in an election and we're able to say to ourselves, well, drats, we lost this time. Let's get them next time. We're in a position now that when Democrats win, we're like, oh-ish, like this could be bad. Our country could be ruined. And we are on the brink of ruins every single time they take power. And that's kind of my answer. I don't know if that answers your question. I think the answer to the question was win the midterms. That's how you stop them. Long and short. 205-545-9950. Taylor says, can we get some smooth Weather Channel jazz during this camera setup, please? What was going on in there, by the way?
Yeah, Steve's racing show, which we can now mention, is they're going to be live streaming. So he was going over what you need to do. It's pretty complicated right now till engineering gets back.
Well, they've got two hosts, or do they got more than
Yeah,
two?
they got two hosts.
It's him and Matt.
Yeah, so I have to go over and click a couple of things over here and drag this over, and then it'll be set up.
Did he show you how to get the line logo on a split screen?
No, Crank is working on that.
No, we've got it. AJ does it.
Oh.
I'm just asking if AJ showed you how to do it.
Okay, well, because of what he showed me how to do over here, I will be able to do it.
Okay. Not that we need it because, I'll need it tomorrow.
Good. It's good. Yeah, it's good to have it.
Yeah, I was going to say I'll need it tomorrow, but you're not going to be here, or you're not going to be here till 1 anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Jay says, JB said, telling you how to set up the TikTok, pull the bottom off, and it stretches out. Byron Noam said the other day. What do you think he said? That's a quote from, that sounds like something Christy Noam's husband would say. Pull the bottom off, it stretches out.
Uncomfortable.
Scott says ExxonMobil, Shell, BP, all drill in other countries. We can't remove ourselves from the global market, even though we are a net exporter of oil. That is true. Brian, hey, Andrew, do you think some of this about the Trump firing Pam Bondi, it's actually just fishing for leakers? Could be. I mean, I don't know. It's possible. The thing is, the Trump administration has done a phenomenal job of hemming up leakers, or plugging the leaks, if you will, because it is rare compared to what it used to be. And in some cases, I mean, it's not even looking for leakers. Sometimes politicians or presidents or administrations, they purposely put out a leak so it gets into the media and it can shape public opinion for one reason or another. Not that that's the case here, but it is a tactic used by politicians on a regular basis. looking, looking, looking at live shots in Tel Aviv. Sirens going off. The possibility of rockets heading into Israel. We'll keep our eye on that. Just saw a video of what is called the deepest recorded Scientology run. A couple of guys just busted into a Scientology building and started running through the building as people there tried to stop them.
It's like running on the field of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, they got a pretty nice spot. I mean, it's really fancy in there. Never seen the inside of a Scientology. What a weird thing though. Like, I don't know, man.
Well, it was started by L. Ron Hubbard, who is a science fiction writer.
Right.
So, I mean,
can you really trust science fiction writers at the end of the day? Aren't they weird people?
Yeah, pretty strange.
Like Bill Barr's dad was a science fiction writer who wrote about a guy that I guess it was an alien or something that came from another planet and started snatching up girls and taking them off to an island. And then he hired Jeffrey Epstein.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah, dude.
You liar.
No, that's 100% true.
No, it's...
He wrote a book that was basically a book that sounded like it was about Jeffrey Epstein. I don't remember if he wrote the book before or after he hired Jeffrey Epstein as a school teacher. And that's Bill Barr's dad. Bill Barr used to be the attorney general. You've never heard that?
No, something's going on. Nah, that's something that we need to do a deep dive on that. Something going down.
That's 100% real, my friend. 100% real.
Dang.
Speaking of a deep dive, new FBI documents coming out about the raid at Mar-a-Lago in August of 22. Apparently, remember the raid itself. Biden's FBI raid at Mar-a-Lago and seized boxes of records from Trump's home. More than 3 dozen machine gun-toting agents descended on Mar-a-Lago that summer, and by November, Biden's DOJ appointed a special counsel to investigate what they said was Trump storing top-secret classified documents. The raid came after the National Archives, NARA, visited Mar-a-Lago in early 2022 and demanded documents from Trump. This was all set up, by the way. Court documents revealed that Biden's FBI authorized the use of deadly force during the raid of Mar-a-Lago, which was authorized by Merrick Garland, the attorney general at the time. Then FBI agents went into Mar-a-Lago and staged photos of the classified documents laid out on the floor to make it look like Donald Trump was just throwing documents out on the floor and everything. It was such a setup. So Judicial Watch, under the Freedom of Information Act, uncovers FBI documents showing FBI agents objecting to the Mar-a-Lago raid and showing how leftist groups helped spur the targeting of Donald Trump over presidential records. The FBI objections over there was probable cause to justify the planned raid. So listen to this. It says that Judicial Watch obtained 207 pages of Federal Bureau of Investigation records that revealed the FBI's concerns about the legal basis for the raid on then-former Donald Trump and Mar-a-Lago. The records exposed concerns within the FBI itself, including explicit objections from field agents who warned the U.S. DOJ that the unprecedented raid on Trump's home lacked probable cause. They were uncovered in a response to a March 11th Judicial Watch Freedom of Information Act request filed with the FBI regarding counterintelligence investigations, codenamed Plasmic Echo, a sensitive intelligence matter launched following a referral from the NARA administration. So the records include A July 13th, 2022 email between FBI field agents explicitly stating they did not believe there was probable cause that existed to search Mar-a-Lago and urging the DOJ to cooperate with Trump's attorney instead of raiding the place. It says Washington, this is the email itself, Washington field office has made numerous suggestions to DOJ over the course of this investigation that the most expedient way to ensure recovery of all classified documents would be to go through Mr. Cochran, then Trump's attorney Evan Cochran. The DOJ has persistently disagreed. New NARA referral for all PRA versus classified. If NARA pursued presidential records, which are likely to still be located at Mar-a-Lago, they could recover any additional records, which may, upon review, identify additional classified material. Washington field office has been rebuffed in this request by the DOJ. So the Washington field office, which was the one that raided Mar-a-Lago, remember, they brought them all the way from Washington to Florida. They didn't just say, all right, we've got a Palm Beach, Miami field office. We've got FBI agents already down there. Let's use them. No, they said, let's go to the cesspool of Washington, D.C. and use those agents to go down there and raid Mar-a-Lago, even though they were saying it's not a good idea. Washington field office does not believe and has articulated to DOJ counterintelligence and export control section that we have established probable cause for the search warrant at Mar-a-Lago. DOJ has opined that they do, requesting a wide scope, including residence, office, storage space. Finally, if the goal is to identify and recover classified records quickly so as to protect the information, the 5 weeks spent fixated on probable cause for a search warrant have been counterproductive. They said, yeah, looking for probable cause, it's kind of silly and it's just wasting time. So let's go ahead and raid the place. That's essentially what they said. The FBI, on record, not the FBI, but the DOJ, should I say. The DOJ on record said, probable schmobable cause. There's no need for us to try to figure that out. Let's just go down there and get it. While there was a legitimate way to go about this, with the National Archives being able to go down there, go through the documents, identify what it is that they feel is classified, that they feel shouldn't be out of the National Archives, that they should be keeping there. But instead, they raided Donald Trump's home. Do you all remember that day? Take yourself back there, by the way. Take yourself back to the day that we turn on the TV and you see those blue and red lights flashing outside of Mar-a-Lago like it's a friggin' crime scene. And the news is reporting that the FBI is raiding the home of Donald Trump. We didn't know at that time that they had been instructed to use deadly force when necessary, but they were. Imagine that. Imagine Donald Trump just defeating Kamala Harris in the 2024 election, sending Kash Patel's FBI to Kamala Harris's home for whatever reason, and explicitly saying, be prepared to use deadly force. How would the country feel about that? Would everybody be okay with that? Would that be cool? If there was speculation that Kamala Harris did something wrong, no, people would lose their friggin' minds over that. But yet, here we are. With literally the FBI saying, don't do it. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. It's a trap. They did it anyway. Worst administration in history, by far, the Biden administration. Noto Roofing, N-O-T-O roofing.com. Noto roofing.com. Our roofing company looking out for you, looking to get you hooked right on up, get your roof in tip-top shape. You got to call them. Let them know Andrew Mclain sent you. Tell them you want that free roof inspection and complimentary roof tune-up. Yes, it's all free. No strings attached, no obligation. You're not forced to do anything after the fact. You're just getting that inspection. Everybody needs to get it done, whether it's your home, your barn, your rental, your business, whatever. If it's got a roof, get it checked out. Noto's the way to go. These guys are the best of the best. 205-848-2299. That's 848-2299 and online, notoroofing.com. John Barry Patrick says L. Ron Hubbard wasn't a science fiction writer. He was a writer that couldn't write his way out of a wet paper bag.
Yeah, his stuff was pretty strange.
What else? What all did he write?
He wrote Sexy Women from Mars and The Alien Conspiracy and Robots from Hell. That was his three big ones.
Robots from Hell?
Yeah. Those were his big ones.
Robot from Hell. Sounds like a good Rob Zombie song.
Yes, it does. No, I don't.
You're just making that up.
Well, yeah, the books. I'm just, off the cuff.
This was Donald Trump recently tweeted, "The biggest bridge in Iran comes tumbling down, never to be used again. Much more to follow. It's time for Iran to make a deal before it's too late, and there is nothing left of what still could become a great country." So apparently they just blew up. I guess, a main bridge in Iran.
I guess. And that's, wow.
That's
okay.
pretty wild footage to see there.
Yeah, but I mean, they just keep on, just like the Japanese in World War II.
Well, it's a situation where, and I know the administration is aware of this, and it's why they're doing what they're doing, is while Iran comes to the table and asks for a ceasefire or asks for a particular timeline, they have to be aware that they don't fall into this trap of just letting Iran buy themselves time.
Exactly.
So while one day you'll wake up and you'll hear that Iran wants to make a deal or that they've asked for a ceasefire, and then the next day you'll see us bombing them again, that's the reason for it. Because it's like, yeah, we can do a ceasefire, but you're going to have to give us something tangible. And you're not doing it. So they are literally allowing their country to be destroyed over this issue. And, I think about, like, what does the end of this look like? And part of it is going to be, once the Iranians in power come to the table and they agree to X, Y, and Z, whatever that may be, giving up their uranium stockpiles, opening the Hormuz Strait, whatever it is, the next obstacle for them is the Iranian people finding out what's really going on, because they've cut off internet to Iran. So the people in that country don't know what's going on outside of just what they're seeing with their own two eyes. And in some parts of Iran, that may be nothing. Life may be just going on as normal if they're miles and miles away from Tehran. But if all the people of Iran, or when all the people of Iran see what has truly happened over these past 4 weeks, it is going to, I think, give them a shot in the arm, because, as you know, there were major protests that threatened to topple the Iranian regime. We got your back. We're with you. They were ready for the Ayatollah to go. They were ready for these murderous regimes to be ousted. And if they see, and they, again, I don't think they know, but once they find out that the Iranian leadership has been backed into a corner at this level, then it may empower them to take to the streets again, more so than they ever did in the past. You got to think, 30,000 protesters gave their lives already to this cause that were killed by the government. People that were killed, but 30,000 people killed by the government. And if they see this, they'll take up arms or hit the streets or do whatever it is they're going to do. All we got to do is throw a few Starlinks out there, and they're good to go. They got internet again. It's not as easy to block out the internet as it once was for countries like Iran or North Korea or whoever it may be, or China. China's pretty sophisticated, but there are ways around it. There are VPNs, there's the Starlinks, there's satellites, there's everything else. And so word will get to those people at some point. And I think that that's going to be where the cleanup job comes in, is the people of Iran take their country back. It's going to be up to them. It's not up to us. Donald Trump's not going to send us in there to rebuild Iran. He's not going to send our sons and daughters in there to fight for 20 years like previous presidents have done. So the bombing continues. Trump saying, Iran, it's time to make a deal. If you don't want to do it, we can just keep going down this road. Keep on, keep it on. Bomb you back into the Stone Ages, as he said last night. In the instance of FBI information, freedom of information, if you will, and even court proceedings, a guy by the name, just real quick, does anybody remember who Brian Cole is? This almost seems like a lifetime ago. If I said the name Brian Cole, John Bird, does it ring a bell at all?
Does not.
Brian Cole is the guy that was arrested that was apparently the RNC-DNC pipe bomber from January 6th. Some black kid, he's supposed to be autistic, and it was just some weird kid that just put together a crude pipe bomb that didn't work. And it's open and shut case. Just weird kid with a pipe bomb. Well, now, in that case, and again, the reason most people didn't recognize that name is because this story just completely fell out of the news. The DOJ is looking to hold Brian Cole's lawyers in contempt of court for publicly posting pipe bomb allegations against a former Capitol police officer. Before Brian Cole was caught, the Blaze had reported that there was this female that they were told was the pipe bomber. And she had not been arrested yet, by the way. Or she never got arrested, I don't guess. That this female, and they put her name out there and everything, was the pipe bomber. And then days later, or whatever it was, weeks later, they end up arresting Brian Cole, and then the Blaze caught a bunch of heat. But now, thanks to new court filings, we are finding out more about this Capitol police officer that leads people to believe that maybe it's possible she was involved in some capacity based on how the FBI conducted the investigation when it came to her. And it's likely the reasons that led the Blaze to reporting on her in the first place. I'll give you all that information when we get back. But that's why the DOJ wants to hold his lawyers in contempt, because they publicly posted those allegations, which were already out there, but now they're out there again.